Hi everyone, Tony from Hack the Movies here, and today we're going to talk about Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master, aka the one where Nightmare on Elm Street started to get kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Today on Talking About Tapes.
We're talking about tapes.
Shout out to today's sponsor, Hype Loot. There's two things I have in common with J.J. Abrams. I've made terrible Star Trek and Star Wars fan films, and I love mystery boxes. Hype Loot is a mystery box platform that has 30 plus mystery boxes. They make the shopping process exciting, and you can get cool products for less than their actual price. And if you don't like what you've drawn, then just exchange it for credits and spin again. There's also a leaderboard and a cashback system and a battle mode where you can challenge other people. I was able to draw a hat from the Nike box, an Apple Watch from the Apple box, a PS5 from the Amazon box, and some nice Yeezy socks from the Adidas box. I can't wait to feel comfortable, look stylish, and track my heart rate while I'm playing Spider-Man 2 on my PS5. Did I mention they also have worldwide door-to-door free shipping? Check out Hype Loop today by clicking the link in the description and pinned comment. Use promo code HACKMOVIES for 100% top-up deposit. Let me know if you got anything good. Hello, Crystal. How are you?
Hi, Tony. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. We're back in the nightmare realm to talk about more Freddy Krueger movies.
But I feel like I'm in heaven because I got a beautiful fur cat.
Yes, Space Cat. We're tested this
Freddy.
out. People really liked her appearance, and I keep forgetting to shut the door, so she keeps making herself known. So we're having her on the set. She probably won't be here the whole episode. She might bail. She's already she's already on the fence about Crystal. I might upload that to Patreon.
You should.
Just Crystal versus Space Cat.
She liked me one moment. She didn't like me the
Fun
second.
fact, she got a little nick on her back from when she got shaved, and
Yeah.
Crystal must have touched that spot.
And Tony didn't tell me, like,
And
hey,
Space
careful, there's
Cat,
a cut.
I told you several times, and you kept petting her. Why would you pet her again? Don't pet her. Don't pet her.
Sorry,
Anyway.
baby. We were best friends like 5 minutes
Yeah,
ago.
but then you touched where she got her little nick,
Ugh.
and now she's scared of you. Just leave her alone. Leave her alone. All right, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4.
I'm sorry.
Crystal! Before we get into Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, there's a new segment we're doing.
Yeah.
It's called Tony Was Wrong.
Love it.
So if we do a sequel to a movie we've covered, and I got something wrong, which I am known to do.
Why? You get things wrong? No way.
Sometimes in my notes, I don't write detailed notes, and I'll misread them, or I'll misremember something that I've read or heard.
No, you're never wrong.
I do
Just that-
research, but sometimes I'm busier than usual, and my research kind of
Excuses.
slacks. And sometimes I just miss details, and
Yep.
it's fun when fans correct me, because so many fans left the same comments about how I was wrong
All right,
about
so what'd you
stuff.
fuck up?
So here we go. Diet Coke does have caffeine in it. I assumed it didn't.
What? Why? Why wouldn't it have caffeine?
I don't know.
Okay, this is just
It
like-
has less caffeine, but it does have caffeine in it.
It doesn't say caffeine free on it. It's a diet. That's why people.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Makes sense now. But at the time, I went, I don't think it has. And I had a bottle of Diet Coke in front of me. I don't know. But this is a movie from the 80s, so I didn't know if Diet Coke was different back then.
What? What the fuck?
The
This is
band
bullshit.
is pronounced Dokken, not Dokken, as I said several times. Sorry. Nancy's dad was a lieutenant, not a sheriff. But it doesn't matter because in part 3, he was actually a security guard. I forgot. I think I did know that. I forgot the detail because he looks like a cop, but if you look closer, he's actually
yeah.
a security guard because I guess he became an alcoholic and then got kicked out. Okay, Terminator actually had a bigger budget than Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Because I was like,
would
the
think
skeleton
so.
looks so bad in 3, and this had a bigger budget than Terminator. But
No.
no, Terminator did come out first, though, and did look better. But it did have a bigger budget, so my bad. And this one is, I don't think this one's my fault. In Freddy versus, you know, the Snake Freddy?
Yeah.
In Freddy versus Jason, they color corrected him to look red when he's green in the movie. someone let me know that he actually was red when they filmed. But they, according to this person in my YouTube comments, so let me know if he's lying. They thought the snake Freddy looked too much like a penis, so they messed with the coloring to make him look green.
Now like a gonorrhea penis.
Yes, that's what I heard from someone in the comments. Because it always bothers me in Freddy vs. Jason. They show the snake, but it's a different color. It's like something. What was the deal with that?
It looks like a penis no matter what. Just a different color
I don't
penis.
think Freddy looks like a. I'm sorry. If you think the snake Freddy looks like a penis, what penises have you seen?
I've seen a lot of penises.
Oh my god. When you were training to be a doctor, obviously. Anyway.
Yeah, duh. What did you think I was talking about?
Nothing.
I've done a lot of like autopsies and stuff. Just cutting off penises.
I did this because there's karate in this movie.
Is that what you did?
Yeah. Let's get into Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. No, I'm lying. One last thing.
Oh shit.
For everyone who yelled at me for not doing Nightmare on Elm Street 2, even though I think I have a wonderful solo review of it, and I interviewed the director in Wishmaster 2. Okay. That was not enough for people.
No.
So me and official Joey C did a commentary track for Nightmare on Elm Street 2. So that's on Patreon if you want a long-form discussion of that movie. Now we'll get into 4.
All right.
They asked Wes Craven, who, again, the previous movie, he wanted to be the last movie. But New Line was like, no. And they went up to him and they're like, what do you want to do for Nightmare on Elm Street 4? Where should this franchise go? And he pitched the idea of time travel. And the New Line people were like, well, thanks for stopping by, Wes. We're not doing that. Even though there is some time.
There is some time, yeah.
There's some time stuff in this.
A little bit, but not time travel.
But then they went to one guy, and then his script went to another guy, and then they got 2 guys to touch up the final script. So this movie has 4 writers. They wanted the director of Friday the 13th Part 6, which is my favorite Friday the 13th. But this is actually a pretty funny quote. I read this. Usually I don't bring in these quotes, but this one was pretty funny. When I finished Friday, I was offered Nightmare 4 and went to New Line, met with them, and I said, I love Freddy. I would love to do one of these, but I really want to do what I just did, where I had creative control, which is why Friday 6 is just so good. He explained, and they go, well, we're already shooting. And he said, what? And they went, yeah, we're already shooting. We're shooting like 2 different units for the visual effects and something else, puppets or something. And I said, without a director? And they said, yeah, we kind of know how we're going to make these things. And I went, that's not the way I work, so I turned it down. Which, of course, made Nightmare 4 director Renny Harlin's career. Yes, this is directed by Renny Harlin, who's more known for action stuff.
I wouldn't even say this is definitely not an action.
Well, it becomes one toward the end. It kind of becomes one.
It's all over the place. This one's just all over where things just don't make sense. I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
But look, Renny Harlin's career has been all over the place. He's done some pretty big movies. I think he did Deep Blue Sea. Yeah. Actually, we covered one of his movies, Die Hard 2, Die Harder. He actually directed that. But yeah, they shot this, speaking of Renny Harlin, they shot this during the 1988 writer strike, which we talk about often. Yep. We talked about it in the Batman review.
And those writer strikes, those don't happen often.
No, they don't happen anymore.
They don't happen at all.
So a lot of the actors had to ad-lib stuff because there wasn't like a writer on set. And apparently a lot of the dreams were just stuff that Renny Harlin came up with. Like, he didn't even care about the script. He was like, let's do this.
They didn't care about the script in this movie? It's so odd. You would have never thought it.
Hard to believe, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to believe. So yeah, Rachel Talalay, who did Tank Girl, who ends up directing one of these later on. I think she said, like, her and Renny Harlin are both kind of like quoted being like, all right, well, Freddy's not really scary anymore. He's kind of the hero now. So let's lean into that. Like he's the bad guy, but you like him. Let's make this more fun and humorous, which I get. I get to a point. Yeah, and Patricia Arquette did not want to come back.
Huh.
She wanted to avoid the horror genre, apparently. Although
because she does not like horror.
Yeah, although...
Yes, that's right. We talked about that before.
We did?
Uh-huh.
On what?
on one of our episodes.
Well, she's in horror stuff.
I know, and we literally have said how she does not like being in horror.
Mm.
I don't remember which.
I don't know what it is.
Nope.
Because, like I said, in the Holes review, I mentioned how I recently watched Lost Highway, and it's not like your traditional horror film, but that's a very horrifying film.
I haven't seen it.
Oh. You're going to want to see, like, late 90s Patricia Arquette. And that's a good one. That's a good one to see. But, yes, they replaced her with Tuesday Night, which is, like, the funniest name. I don't know why it's the funniest name. Because it's night with a K. It's not even night with an N. It's like, all right, what the hell?
That's not her real name, is it?
I don't know. I know she was a musician. Actually, the opening song, I think, is hers. I actually have... So, someone in our comments, I'm sure other people have said this, that this is the MTV Freddy. There's even a plug for MTV.
This one? For the 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely Freddy for the MTV generation.
I can see that.
There is a list of songs that I'll read at the end.
I didn't hate the songs.
But there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there is.
During, like, the MTV generation, up until, like, the early 2000s, there were some movies that were kind of made just to sell a soundtrack.
Oh, yeah. Obviously.
Although I'm hearing that a lot of these songs weren't even on the soundtrack. But, yeah, that's why, like, I feel like these days there's, like, less... like modern kind of like pop songs in movies
because it will totally take you out. It's a different genre. I feel like now you don't have a lot of those were a little bit more on the grungy-ish side.
Yeah, well, no, it's just any movie did it, but we got to that point where people were pirating music, so no one was watching the movie and then going, I have to buy the album.
I never pirated. I never used LimeWire and gave my computer tons of viruses. Never, ever.
Oh, God, we're all guilty of that.
God, so many viruses.
So, before we get into the whole plot thing, when did you first see this? How do you feel about this one?
I have no idea when the first time I saw this. No idea. This is when I start losing a little bit of interest. Mm-hmm. It just gets a little too funky. It just doesn't make sense.
These 4 and 5 blend together, and actually one thing I got wrong in the previous episode.
So much wrong.
I did say the sucking face thing was 5, but it was actually this one. But yeah there's like...
What a suck face.
Yeah, they just kind of blend together. I think the problem, as you'll find out in this, is like they were more interested in like what they could do dream-wise and special effects-wise.
And that's what I enjoyed. I enjoyed
it's
the
interesting,
journey.
but then
I
like
hate the story didn't make sense.
Yeah, the story is kind of weird and like it's not scary.
No, it's silly.
Yeah, so it's just like funky. Okay, that's cool and trippy, but not really scared by anything. No. And Freddy's starting to become a real jokester. Yeah. He started leaning into it in the third one. Hard. And now they're leaning into it a little even further. Now, let's get into this film. It starts with a quote. Do you remember the quote?
No. I don't remember yesterday. I watched this yesterday, too.
You remember Freddy's in this movie. I don't know if you know Freddy Krueger.
Who's Freddy Krueger?
He's Robert Englund played the guy with the claws, the knives. Not the hockey mask one.
Oh,
anyway.
Scissorhands?
No. Close, though. Johnny Depp is in a couple of these.
Yes, he is.
So, yeah, the quote is, "When deep sleep falleth on men, fear came upon me, and trembling, which made all my bones to shake." And that's from the book of Job.
That's right.
Chapter 4, 13, 14.
That's right.
I'm gonna pause because someone's in the comments right now telling me that it's Job. And now I'm pausing because someone else is replying, that's an Arrested Development. Tony's making an Arrested Development reference.
Do you think they're actually going to get that?
Arrested Development's a very popular show.
Yeah, but are they going to get that reference?
That was more of a season 4 thing when Netflix started doing it. Maybe it's not as common. Anyway, so Kristen's back, and again, it's not Patricia Arquette. Like I remember the first time I saw this, I kind of saw them out of order.
Okay.
Like, I think I remember seeing 3. Well, famously, for a while, I didn't even own 4 on VHS. So I remember watching like 3 and then skipping to 5 and being like, I'm out of the loop on a lot of what's going on in this movie.
Yeah.
But when I eventually did watch this, like early 2000s, I think my friend had it. I was like, who's this new girl?
Yeah, it seems weird when you see it. You're like, oh, wait.
Because she looks nothing like Patricia Arquette.
It's like going from like what's it called? Casey's movie. Hatchet.
Oh,
It's like
Hatchet.
going from
Yes,
Hatchet
the
1
girl
and
to
then going
Daniel
into Hatchet
Harris.
2.
Yeah,
At least Daniel Harris looks like her a tiny bit.
a little bit. And
Bit.
it doesn't help that like the Kristen character was dressed all plain
Yeah.
and just blonde. It's like, she didn't like wear something specific that will cue you in. So I was very, very confused until later in this
All of a sudden you see her calling things back. Yeah.
Yeah. So she meets a little girl at the Freddy house, which I forget if that actually is his house. I think he just likes that house.
It's supposed to be.
I need to rewatch Freddy's Dead if it's revealed that that was his literal house. But anyway,
I have that in here.
what are you doing?
Yeah, I got Freddy's Dead in here.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
I can read. I can read it. See
Why are you reading the booklet for the late 90s, early 2000s DVD set?
Because it says if Freddy's dead, if this is his real house or not.
I have this newer DVD set that goes all the way up to Freddy vs. Jason. And it was made recently, and they just left out the remake.
I wish I watched this. It does have a bonus DVD. I did not get to watch that yet.
Anyway, she asks the girl where Freddy is. Freddy traps her in the house. Is this the part with the kaleidoscope where like she's opening the door and it's like the same part of the house?
Yes.
Yeah, and Freddy like blasts her with glass. I did like the fake out of the claw shadow on the wall, and then it's just a tree that looks like a stupid hand. But yeah, this part when she calls Kincaid and Joey, who are played by the same people, that's when I realized, like, oh, that's that girl. That's very confusing. And they actually have a good point, because she's like, Freddy's back. And they're like, stop it.
Yeah.
We killed him. The furnace is off. And I think Joey makes a good point. This might we'll see how he comes back. But I think I might have just been for show. I think Joey's like, if you keep like fucking around with this, you might actually bring him back. Because of like the whole fear thing.
Yeah. I do think that's what happened, because before he was, maybe not. I don't know. It's weird. You don't know if that's real or not.
Well, the scene where he does come back, I hope that's not literally how he came back, because it's very confusing.
That's what I thought. It was the literal scene of how he came back.
Yeah. And remember, animals can dream in these movies, because that poor bird blew up in part 2. So Jason attacks Kristen. Not the killer, Jason the dog.
Yes.
They named the dog Jason.
Which is fantastic.
And I like when they wake up and the dog's got blood on him, and then Kristen's got the bite.
So random blood. It wasn't even like a dog bite blood, or it's just bloody all over his face. You're like, what? And he's just happy.
So did Kristen bring the dog into the dream?
That's what doesn't make sense.
Or is it because
Kincaid
was next to it? It was so weird.
No, because he's the one he went up in the air and then went in.
Yeah.
And it was a while before the dog went in.
But he can't bring people into dreams.
No.
Only she can. She thought to bring his dog into the dream. It's very bizarre.
At that point, if you think you could bring a dog in, wouldn't you bring a lot of other things in? Like a freaking tiger, a bear. And if you could control things in your dream, all of a sudden you're a zookeeper that could attack this Freddy. Oh my gosh, this could be a new Freddy movie.
By the way, I love that she just turned around completely. And like, it's just showing her ass to you because she's so angry at you. She might hate you forever now, by the way. She doesn't like that.
You're going to like me by the end of this.
She went from being like, you guys don't understand.
Like, we were best friends.
Best friends to you're my sworn enemy. It took years for this cat to like me, and we still don't even like each other.
I don't blame her.
Anyway.
Okay,
no,
we'll give it time. We'll give it time.
She's not even.
Might just be hangry. It's fine. I get it.
So we meet Alice, played by Lisa Wilcox, who was one of the first few people I met at a convention. I remember her being very nice.
Okay.
She's a daydreamer. She likes to daydream.
She's an interesting character.
And she's real into Dan. He's a major league hunk. Was he a major league hunk for you?
He was very cliche looking.
Yeah, he was very
not my type, but very cliche.
Like,
I'm more into her brother.
It's a karate guy? Yeah. Like a karate greaser? That's what you're into?
That or her alcoholic dad. Either one. I'll take. The other one's too pretty for me. So,
Anyway, so yeah, Alice, her brother Rick is dating Kristen. We find that out. And Alice is super into Dan.
But are they twins?
I don't know.
They're in the same class. All three of them are in the same classes.
They could be close in age. I don't know if they're
Like
actually
Irish
twins. Yeah, they could be Irish twins.
It was just so, I'm like, why are they all
My
in the same
Italian
class?
cousin has Irish twins.
There you go.
Yeah. That could be it, or there was like a cutoff. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little odd. I'm like, why is everyone in the same class? And there's, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know all the kids were the same age in part 3, but apparently they are.
Yeah, all in the
or
same age,
because they
same
were in
class.
or because they were in a mental asylum. Maybe they got held back, so they
That
all
would
ended
actually
up-
make
yeah,
more
that
sense.
makes more sense. So yeah, Debbie. We meet Debbie, who I forget is in the movie until way later.
I like her.
I like her too, but like her and Sheila, they're just cannon fodder.
Which sucks, because I
Yeah.
think they're good characters.
They're actually like,
They're a lot
I
of
would have
fun.
liked to have gotten to know them a little bit more because
Yeah.
they seem really fun. I like that she's like, I was supposed to study, but Dynasty was on, and I really wanted to watch Dynasty. And I like even Sheila's like, get a VCR and record this shit. Sheila's the nerdy one.
I wish I saw more of Sheila. I could have swore she was in it more.
Yeah.
I hated that she died
Yeah.
that quick. Love her.
Yeah, she asked Sheila to do her homework, and then we find out that Debbie hates bugs. And
They
Sheila
made that
has
clear.
and Sheila has asthma. It's like, okay.
We got
This
it.
is coming up later. Okay, we're establishing what their fears are. So yeah, Kincaid and Joey, they give Alice more shit. They're like, hey, stop bringing us to the scary boiler room, you asshole.
Yeah.
Stop it. I'm mad.
Imagine just like that's how you're sleeping. You just wake up and you're like back there. You're like,
Yeah.
seriously, what the fuck? I was just having amazing dreams.
Yeah. I'm mad we don't see Joey shirtless.
You are?
And I know I'm drinking a woke Miller Lite beer, but that's not why. Because in the previous film, Freddy carved that message into his chest, the come and get him, bitch.
Yeah.
And I really wanted like a scene where he's like
The
shirtless
scars
and
on
then see if
it.
he has.
That would've been
Imagine
cool.
having the scar say "Come and get him, bitch," and people like everyone you date afterwards is like, "Are you? Am I getting you? Like right now? Like why would you carve that into?" Like,
That's
hey,
right.
I
would love that.
have some cuts, and like, hey, I accept you. Like, no, you don't understand. They spell out a message, but I swear I didn't type it or I didn't scratch it into me.
No?
Um,
Do you ever have no one's ever carved anything of you or into you or no? I've had an ex carve my name into his skin. That was in 8th grade. No, it's 7th
with
grade.
like a
7th or 8th
blade?
grade. Huh?
With a blade?
Yeah. He was then sent to a special high school.
You don't say.
Yeah, he was sent to an alternative school for.
No, I
behavioral
never
issues.
carved anyone's name into
No?
me. I dated a girl who was scratched a little too much. Which is
Well, you're just a pussy at that point.
which is rough if you're dating multiple people at once, because like.
Well, if you got a cat, it's an excuse. Tony, you gotta be faster at this.
Yeah. My cat's paw was this big
Yeah.
and just carved up my
If
back.
you say it
Got
was
it.
a cat, and every girl's gonna be like, "Oh."
Yeah, a cat with like
Yes.
a giant, a fucking
Yes.
tiger. Like, what the
Clearly vicious. Yes.
No, I don't do the carving or cutting. But you know what does get cut up? Those lockers in the hallway, which I was a little confused about. I'm like, wait,
It's not part of a dream. It's not. It's just random.
but Alice does daydream. But this was
But it wasn't part
that
of her
wasn't
daydream.
Alice,
It
right?
wasn't her daydream.
It's a cool visual. I like it, but I'm like, wait, are we in a dream now? See, they're having a little too much fun with their effects and getting all like crazy with stuff. It's like, yeah, but it's okay to be confusing intentionally, which we get later in the film.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm like, wait, I'm trying to get to know all these characters and this new dynamic. Like, I need to know what is in the dream world and what isn't, and that locker just really confuses me.
Mm-hmm.
But what doesn't confuse me is Rick's karate. And I'm saying
so
I don't know.
good.
I don't know what it is. I'm calling it karate. Yeah, he's real into it.
Yeah.
He's got the
I think
big,
it's just a standard
big
80s. Yeah.
flag of Japan right there. Yeah, I'm guessing this is like because in the
Bruce
90s I went to a
Lee, like-
karate school. But like the 80s and 90s were big
Yup.
for like the karate stuff. He's
Because-
super into it.
Yeah.
Good for him. Good for him. You know, when you first see that character, because he's wearing like all the black and whatnot, you think he's going to be like some punk dude. And it's like, oh, he's real into karate of all things. And like I said, Alice likes to daydream and she hates her dad because he's just being an asshole like all
Everyone
the time.
hates her dad. They all hate them.
Yeah.
Fucking, what's his
Rick
face?
kisses him to piss him off.
He's there climbing out a window. He's like, well, you know, dad's popping aspirin all day. You
Yeah,
know,
he's
stay to
literally,
avoid
it's like
him.
in the morning and he's pouring like the vodka into his mug.
He's doing Bloody Mary first thing in the morning.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
like-
all right. You
I
know,
guess they wanted like a callback to the mom in the first one.
Yeah.
Maybe. How you doing, Space Cat? She's gone to sleep, I think. She's like, no, I will not look at you. You don't understand. She is pissed.
Are we not friends anymore?
No, you are not friends.
Are
You
we
are
gonna
not
make
going to be
up?
friends for a
We
while.
were friends before this today. We were friends before. You remember?
No, next
You were
time you're
hiding in
here.
the cabinet,
Next time
and
you're
we
here,
became
wear your hair
friends.
down so she thinks you're a different person.
Oh, I'll wear my glasses.
Hey, wear
because
your
apparently
glasses.
people get very angry if I don't wear my glasses.
Yeah, what was that about?
I don't know.
We're like, what the hell? She's not wearing her glasses. I'm like, okay.
I was like, ah.
I just
I
kept
was thinking about bringing them and wearing them halfway through the movie or the review.
I kept picturing the kid from the girl from My Girl. What happened to his glasses? Where are his glasses?
I don't know what you're talking about. Remember the movie?
My Girl?
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Ooh, no, you haven't seen it because every girl I know, if I say that to them, they start like getting emotional. That's a very rough scene. Yeah, that's Thomas J. Spoiler: Thomas J. dies, and oh my god, that's a rough scene.
I don't like chick flicks or stuff like that.
It's a coming of age tale.
I've never seen. I don't know. Maybe I was deprived on that shit.
You
don't
might
watch it.
like it. You might like it.
Ugh.
Do you like Macaulay Culkin? Wow, my good friend Macaulay Culkin. You don't like him? Anyway.
He's okay.
Yeah, so she's like back talking her dad. She's like, "You're an alcoholic. I hate you." And then it like cuts, and it's like, oh, she didn't have the balls to yell at him.
No.
So yeah, how do they get Freddy back? Well, Kincaid goes to sleep.
I love this character.
I know, it's really annoying.
This
that-
really sucks. There's like a couple characters you really like and they die really fast. And of course the ones you kind of don't care about last the
I
entire
wouldn't
time.
have minded if like he died if him and Joey and Kristen died in the next one. Like I think that would have
Or
been
at least
fine.
like towards the end maybe.
Or at least toward the end.
Yeah, let me see more of them.
Yeah. This was a bit of a letdown. This was a bit
Super
of a letdown.
letdown.
But
First fucking person that fucking dies.
apparently from what I read, that is the same, like they kept the junkyard set in between movies. So that's like the same junkyard set from the previous film. So he's in the junkyard, walking around.
Well, he's trapped in the trunk. He wakes up
Yes.
in the trunk.
Yes, he wakes up in the trunk.
Like, what the fuck, Kristen?
I forget if he's in the trunk of the Cadillac. You ought to know by now. Anyway,
Bite him.
so Jason shows up.
Yes.
Not the killer. I have to keep stressing that.
Not hockey mask man.
The podcast listeners might be driving right now. And when I say Jason showed up, they'll be like, what? He's not in that movie. And they're slamming on the brakes.
Don't kill
No,
anyone.
the dog shows up and then he pees fire.
That was interesting.
And then the ground cracks open.
From
and
the piss fire.
yes. And then Freddy Hellraisers himself back together. It's literally the Hellraiser effect of like
It
his.
is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought when I saw that.
So he's back, but I don't get like
Why is he out?
that's not literally why he's back, right? The dog peeing fire, I don't think is literally why he's
But
back.
why was he not back doing others? Like, I don't.
I don't know. I guess he returns to kill Joey, Kristen, because they're the last
But
of the
why-
Elm Street kids. Yeah, because I guess the 1 and 2 he's alive at the end of them, but 3 he was like kind of. They make it seem like he's definitively dead.
Yeah.
So that's why you kind of needed to explain why he came back this time. Instead, they're
you
just like,
don't.
Freddy's back, a dog peed fire.
And the
By the way-
open, he's open.
Not even in the real world. The dog did it in the dream world, and somehow that brought Freddy back. I think Kristen's fear brought him back. That's what I think actually happened.
There's like enough fear to awaken him and give him power.
That's what I think happened. And I think this is all just for show with the dog and the pee and the Hellraiser stuff. Freddy must have watched Hellraiser and it was probably like, that's probably a cool idea to come back. Yeah, so I actually really, really love the shot where Kincaid is like, Freddy's back, and it pulls out, and the entire planet is a junkyard.
Yeah.
Freddy's back! Freddy's back! Freddy's back!
That was cool. That was cool.
But I have to ask, though.
Yes.
Before, he was able to, like, kick ass and stuff like that because he was super strong.
Yes.
Why is he all of a sudden super weak?
Because Freddy...
I still push a car, but that wasn't enough.
When Freddy was in hell,
Uh-huh.
he made a deal with Malbolgia
Okay.
to lead his army against the armies of heaven. And Malbolgia was like, okay, I'll send you back to Earth. But you gotta lead. I'm just stealing the plot of Spawn. That was the plot of the comic book Spawn. I don't know. He's just way stronger.
The entire last movie is about how they can kick ass and control, and they say it multiple times. You can control your dreams.
Well, I guess he's...
No one.
Well, he never released the souls last time. So maybe he
Where
has...
the fuck did those souls even happen? Like, that
Because-
wasn't a thing before?
Well, we know Freddy Krueger exists in the Mortal Kombat universe, so he learned the soul sucking from Shang Tsung. Of course, that game didn't come out till like 2010, but he learned from them.
But how did he already have so many other souls?
Well, he had him at the end of 3. Remember, he showed off all his souls, but like we never saw those souls escape. So I'm assuming he went to hell with all those souls.
Sure.
And then he might have gotten more souls in hell. Because, like, remember in Freddy vs. Jason, Freddy's like, I found someone in hell. I'm like, does Freddy just walk around hell? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, him and the devil are just like best friends.
Him and the
Just hang
dream
out.
demons? I don't know. He's
But
just strong now. It's because they had to kill Roland and they had 4 writers, but not when the movie went into production.
In any of the dreams, none of them are able to have their... They change what powers are. all
Well,
of a
now
sudden.
he's ready for the powers this time.
Dude, fucking
He's
bullshit. But the thing, we'll get into it. It makes me angry that you set up this entire really cool idea of great. You can control our dreams, but also it's my dream and I can control it. And all of a sudden, I can be anything I want. But no one uses that again.
Well, Freddy's wise to them now. He's learned from his mistakes. It's like a wrestling match when
They
a guy
didn't
like
even
loses
try.
against someone at one pay-per-view and then he trains and he beats him at the next pay-per-view. That's what it is.
Space Cat? That is bullshit.
So Kincaid is dead, which is very upsetting. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that. He died an interesting way. Just like...
Yeah. By the way, the ADR for Freddy's like first line is bad.
You shouldn't have buried me. I'm not dead.
He's like, you shouldn't have buried me. And I'm like, okay. But then it cuts to his face
yeah.
and he's like, not, from what I remember, it was kind of dark, but I don't think he's talking at all. And he just hear, I'm not dead. So I'm like, that was awkward ADR. And by the way, this is when they're like, Freddy needs to do jokey lines. He did a couple in 3. He's not really, he was kind of a jokester since the first one, but he wasn't like,
Not over
he
the
didn't have to
top.
button everything with a one-liner.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I like Roland's like, I'll see you in hell. And he's like, tell him Freddy sent you.
I didn't mind.
And I have in my notes, ew, Kristen likes you too.
What's your problem with you two?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Joey is thinking of Hot Babes and MTV.
At MTV.
Because there's a guy on a TV going, I love MTV. I watch it all the time. Me and the fish watch it. He like goes on this whole thing about MTV. And then he's looking at a hot girl.
He is.
There's an autograph of. And
Yep.
he falls asleep. And then, oh my God, the hot girl is in his waterbed.
Boobs.
Boobs. Not as nice as the nurse from the previous one. But still. And he's like, what's this hot babe in my bed? And then it turns out
Like
it's Freddy.
in the waterbed.
I'd be horrified.
I thought you were about to say something else.
No. One, if I had I don't know why I would have a waterbed. But no, if I had a waterbed and I like took the sheet off and there was just an alive woman banging, nude or not, hot or not. I'm like, what the, why? I'd get like scissors and be like, get out of there. Like, I'd be terrified. You wouldn't be scared?
I'd want to keep her forever.
I'd be like,
you
this
stay
woman is
there.
going to drown and I'm
pet
going to
her.
be accused of murder. But no, it's Freddy. Freddy chops them all up. He doesn't even get to use his super screaming sound.
But at that point, you can change it, can't you? To all of a sudden imagine that you can breathe underwater. If it's your dream, you're a fish man.
He was distracted by boobs.
Understood.
He was like, boobs. Oh, God, I'm being attacked by Freddy. It is kind of sad when the mom
That
comes
was
in.
really sad.
But also, if I was the mom, I'd be like, oh, no, my son's dead. But I'd be like, how did he get in there and then close it around him?
But no one else dies like that. Like
Yeah.
in real life, all of a sudden he just happens to be in there. You're like, what?
That is weird. Roland or Kincaid,
Yeah.
he doesn't have any scars when he wakes up. It's almost like usually whatever damage you get in the dream world, you get in the real world. But in this
Yeah.
one, Freddy's like covering his tracks a little bit.
But
But
even as we go along, like you see little things, but it's not
yeah,
under them in the mattress a little.
that was a little ridiculous. I'm sorry, but Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 at the Dream Master is just a little ridiculous, Crystal. Just a little ridiculous.
Just a little.
I do like the moment of Rick teaching Alice-san karate.
That was cute.
Alice-san. No, I like that. As much as we would like Debbie and the other one to get developed, I like that they developed like their brother-sister relationship really well.
Yeah, they do.
It was a cute moment with them. You
Yeah.
kind of like get, I'm like, okay, this is kind of fun. He's like teaching her how to kick, and she like kicks her shoe into the fish tank,
Yeah.
which was pretty funny.
I like that.
Um,
Oh, we gotta talk about the mirror too.
Tell me about the mirror, because
Oh,
I
she
don't
has-
have it in my notes. I forget.
Oh, she has tons and tons of photos
Yes.
of all of her friends and family, and it's covered up. And brother's like, "Why? You can't even see yourself. Like, what's the point?" She's like, "I don't want to see myself."
Yeah.
Because you realize she has no confidence until the end. All of a sudden, at the end, because she takes them off whenever someone dies.
Yeah.
She takes the photos off the mirror.
Yeah, yeah, and she mirrors play a big part later on randomly.
Very angry
Yes.
at that.
Yes.
That I
Well,
would-
well, she tells Alice later on. She's like, you never heard the nursery rhyme of the Dream Master, but she can't remember the rhyme. She's having trouble remembering it. It's like the Dream Master can control their dreams and do all this cool stuff, I guess. Kristen knocks herself out when she goes into school because she realizes Kincaid and Joey are gone. And she knows what's up. She's like,
Yeah,
oh,
they're not there.
fuck, they're dead. She knocks herself out, and then she's woken
Nurse Freddy. Woo
up to Nurse Freddy, Robert Englund in drag.
Loves it. I was like, dang.
I do like that he tries to like get in some of these movies as himself. Like, was in part 2, he was like the bus driver and whatnot.
Yes.
But yeah, this one's really funny. I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, wait a minute. But yeah, he's being real creepy, and then he's like, I want some blood or something like that. But then she actually wakes up with the real nurse. It was a very tense scene. Oh, where does Alice work? Did you take note of the diner that she
called?
works at? Yeah.
No.
She works at the Crave Inn.
Stop. I didn't even notice that. Motherfucker.
Sorry, Space Cat. She didn't like the badumcha. Look at that.
She doesn't like much,
Look at that
does she?
condescending stare. She's like, what was that sound? Stop it, please.
You don't like much, do you, huh?
Space Cat.
She's like, don't assist me.
Okay, you can go back to sleep. You can go back to sleep. She didn't like that either. Don't do that. She didn't like that.
What do you like? I can't please you.
Not a lot. So yeah, she works at the Craven, which I was like, that's funny.
That's really
That's funny. Kristen brings Rick, Dan, and Alice to the Freddy house.
Oh, we didn't mention how she said that working at the diner would be her worst nightmare forever. They say these
Good.
things over and over in the movie. Where you're like,
Good catch, because that does come up later, and I did forget to write that down.
way to go.
I was answering all my fan emails while watching it.
They email you?
Yes. And all my Tinder matches. I'm just going through all
how's
my
that going? You need a couple more beers.
Actually, it might go well because they got you broads. Oh,
Well, one, I don't have Tinder.
No, they got you broads. They have a new thing where women or just anyone, but we all know it's women. You're not allowed to use your Tinder to promote your social media, and you cannot have your Instagram handle in your profile.
Do you know every other guy? So on Hinge and Bumble, every other guy has their tag. Every other guy.
Yeah.
Not just women there, Tony.
Well, I don't see. Actually, no, that's not true.
I see both.
I
literally see men and women.
That's not true because Tinder is just like, Tony, you're so fucking hopeless. Here's some guys. And I have to go into my settings and be like, I have it for women, right?
It's like here.
And I'm not even talking about trans men. It's straight up, like they're literally guys. And I'm just like, that's Tinder. It's just like, Tony,
Just try.
Tony, we can't help you out. Try being gay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that update. They're like, you can't plug your social media. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
A bunch of girls are going to be like, well, I'm out. Goodbye.
That's not how that works.
A lot of girls just use it to get Instagram followers. And guys, I have heard of guys who do it. I just didn't
All I
know.
have to do is like to boost my socials is just throw it on social. Like then I get nervous. I don't want them all knowing my socials right off the bat. A lot of them are crazy.
No, you don't say.
Like crazy.
Anyway, I would love to talk about Tinder all day long. We got
It's Well, I mean, we could do a new show. Talk about dates.
Yeah, talking about dates. I did talk about a date recently on Here's What I Don't Get. I left the date part out of it, but I talked about everything else that happened that night, including the clown bartender yelling at a Republican guy. It was watch that episode of Here's What I Don't Get.
Was a literal clown?
The bartender got done her shift and then became a clown. Put on a collar and made balloon animals.
Literal clown.
A literal clown, and then made balloon animals for drunk people. So she stayed at work to get even more tips by making balloon animals.
Brilliant.
And then she got into a fight with some guy who just kept bringing up the Second Amendment. Anyway, which we all support. So they're at the house and they're thinking of going in and because if someone didn't go to one of these previous movies, everyone needs to bring you up to speed.
Yeah.
So Rick is bringing Dan up to speed. They're like, Freddy Krueger was a guy, killed a bunch of people, blah, 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 blah.
Apparently he's a town legend. Apparently.
Apparently.
Like,
Wouldn't this be the biggest story ever? And then, because in the previous episode, we forgot if Kristen's mom showed up in this one, and there's Kristen's mom just beeping the horn going like, Kristen, get away from the house!
Yes.
Same actress. I guess she was just driving by.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
That.
I thought she was picking up, but I was like,
no, because Kristen has her own car. Kristen has her own car.
I got very confused at that.
But yeah, she's like, get out of her house. Her mom is.
You see her?
Huh?
That's the only time you see her, isn't it?
No, you see her in the next scene because her mom's a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, oh, sorry. Space Cat is readjusting.
Hi.
she's looking at you.
Yeah. We'll be best friends.
I can't believe she is to try to fight you. All right. I mean, I can believe it. I just...
She's done it to other people plenty of times. I've seen it. It's not just me.
Yeah. Anyway.
Then she does it to Johanna, too.
I would love to know what happened to her as a kitten that made her this way.
I'm so sorry.
Because we didn't have her the first 2 years. She lived with someone else. Something there bothered her.
But you look so pretty.
Okay. So her mom is like, stop talking about
right.
Freddy Krueger, you crazy lady. And she's like, Mom, I gotta stay awake. She's like, I put drugs in your drink. She's like,
Jesus Christ. And she
fucking-
also mentions, though, too, about how it's like you and your friends are the reason that, Freddy is doing this and shoves it in her face. But didn't she realize that?
The mom?
I thought the parents realized it, yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of broken up about it. Or they don't want to admit that that's what happened.
I thought they did admit it.
I don't think they want to, I think they just feel guilty and they don't want to, accept that this is the action of this is the consequences of their actions. But yeah, she drugs her daughter to go to sleep. And Kristen is ice cold. She's just like, you just murdered me.
And she's not wrong.
Not wrong.
She's not wrong at all.
She is not wrong. So yeah, Kristen is trying to use
What
her
is she
dream
doing,
powers.
though? She goes into the room and starts grabbing random stuff.
Yes.
I was confused. I was like, what is she trying
I think she
to
tried to
do?
grab a phone at one
She
point.
did grab a
Yeah.
phone at one point, but then it looks like she was looking for something.
Yeah, so she's using her dream powers, and she dreams herself to a nice beach. She's like, okay, I'm on the nice beach.
Yeah, because Freddy can't get you on a beach.
And then the little girl from the opening is there building a sandcastle. And then Freddy's glove is a shark fin.
I didn't mind that. I thought it was interesting. I didn't hate it.
It's a shark fin that chases Kristen, who then falls into quicksand. And then here comes Freddy with the sunglasses. He's like, oh yeah.
But wouldn't think, well, then it turns into something else. But like at that point, wouldn't Kristen then think of powers that she could have?
She doesn't do any of her flips, by the way. Her thing was about flips when she was in the dream world. She's not flipping once in this.
Why?
I don't know.
She could have flipped over the fucking sand.
I know.
Sand.
I know. It's very frustrating. Do you agree, Space Cat? She's out. Okay. But yeah, she gets kicked into the sand, falls into the Freddy house. Freddy brags about being back, and he's trying to convince her to bring more people into her dreams. He's like, you should bring in some more friends. We find out why later on. And then she kind of caves and brings in Alice. She brings poor Alice into her
Out
dream.
of all the people.
Yeah, and then we get how sweet. Fresh meat.
How sweet. Fresh meat.
Which will get repeated in Freddy vs. Jason, but the line will be altered a little bit. Kristen sacrifices herself to save Alice.
I don't know if she really sacrificed herself. I guess she did.
I don't know. I assume that's a pretty lame way to die. I hope it was for something.
I don't know.
But yeah, Freddy like stabs her and throws her in the furnace, which is pretty brutal.
It's very brutal.
But he gets her soul. But then the soul, I guess he gets her soul, but the power.
This is the moment where I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm starting to not enjoy this as much.
So Kristen thought to send Alice her powers. And are there her souls in them? I assume he gets the soul, but they get like the powers.
But who is they?
Alice gets the powers.
But why?
Because Kristen used her dream powers to transfer the powers to her.
She got the Alice power.
Yeah.
Because
I don't
Alice
know.
gave it to her.
Well, there's a
somehow,
lot of-
where apparently you can give powers in dreams and just be like,
Yeah, you can do
"Pew,
that.
pew."
You can do that now.
Okay.
You can do that now.
Oh, you can?
Yeah. Yeah, they teach you that.
What's your power, though?
In
What's your power?
What's my dream
Yeah.
power?
But it's not even a dream. It's not a dream power, though. Because the other ones aren't dream powers.
That's true. Yeah, she
That's
ends
the
up just
thing.
getting personality traits
That's
afterwards.
what it
Yeah.
is.
I don't know. Look, she's the dream master or whatever. But she has this ability now. But now that she has this, Freddy can like kind of manipulate Alice to bring other people into dreams for some reason. So yeah, this part's pretty rough. They go to Kristen's house, her and Rick, and they're like, we gotta get her in. And the mom opens the door, and Kristen's on fire.
Yeah.
Like straight up
Dying.
fire in the real world.
Done.
It's like,
and her
you-
hand's just like off the
I love
bed.
that they didn't see that while driving to the house, and the mom just didn't hear or smell anything until
Yeah.
they showed up.
Well, you see it in the window. You do see
A
it.
little bit,
You do see it
yeah.
in the window.
So yeah, maybe the mom was taking some of those drugs if she didn't smell anything. So Kristen's fucking dead. This is a little weird though. So Kristen, Kincaid, and Nancy and her dad are all buried right next to each other.
That's not how that happens?
What a coincidence.
So strange.
What a coincidence. Those four plots were all right next to each other.
So
I
strange.
couldn't
But
believe it.
The luck. The coinkydinks.
It's insane. Yeah.
Did everyone else get buried, I wonder? Because they don't show it. Is it just like a patch?
Joey was cream in it. I Ironically, Kristen wasn't
Yeah, I was gonna
cremated.
say, how's Kristen not? So she was buried? How does that even like? Ah.
Yeah, I feel
Is
like
there anything left?
I
to
feel like
bury
if like
her?
someone's on fire, it's like you know, we're halfway there. Let's just finish this.
I mean, you can bury a cremation, but like,
Yeah. Anyway, because Alice starts lighting up a cigarette because Kristen smoked, and then Alice is like, "Wait, I don't smoke." Because again, she's getting like part of their She's like Rogue from X-Men. How Rogue can like touch other mutants and get their powers,
yeah.
but like
not
so,
powers.
huh?
But it's not powers.
Yeah, but it's the same idea. But like now she's getting like part of their personality traits, which I think is
But
pretty
like
funny.
Alice was like, here, now you have my power, and now you can bring people into your dreams. Which actually, if she didn't do that, the entire movie wouldn't have happened, right?
Yeah, she admits that she screwed up.
That Alice screwed up.
No, Kristen
Or
admits
that
that
Kristen-
bringing Alice in was a mistake. She did it. It was like a moment of weakness.
No. If Kristen or if Alice didn't give, or I'm sorry, if Kristen didn't give Alice her power,
You're right.
wouldn't the entire movie not happen?
You're right. Kristen shouldn't have given her the power because if he needs new people to bring him people, that
She
yeah.
literally, it's fucking Kristen's fault.
And even if he did kill Alice, Alice wouldn't
Bring
have
any-
that power to bring people.
Exactly, and then it's done.
Kristen, I'm glad you're dead.
Exactly.
I'm glad you're dead. You did it. You everything is your fault. And yet the
Kill.
mom lives. I love that the mom survived both these movies.
Yeah.
It's like, you're kind of the worst, mom.
Poor Sheila.
Yeah, okay.
That's the main
Sheila.
Kristen, you're a bitch for killing Sheila. That is your
I know.
fault.
Sheila falls asleep during her exam that she was studying for all night.
Bullshit.
And I guess Alice also fell asleep. Because I guess when Alice falls asleep, that's when she brings other people in and they can meet
But
Freddy.
don't you usually have to think about them and call them in? That's what Kristen had to do.
She hasn't fine-tuned her powers yet, so she might be doing it subconsciously. I don't know. But yeah, she falls asleep. And I like during her exam, like Freddy's like changing the words on the
Yeah.
paper. And then because we find out that Sheila is a bit of a tech nerd. And she made a sonic device to get rid of bugs for Debbie.
Yeah.
So I guess she's dreaming about robot shit because a big robot arm comes out of her paper and like grabs her face. But she's able to shoo it away. And Alice is trapped during all of this.
Her trap's dumb.
Yeah. I did like the pattern on the ground that made it look like it was sinking in. When the camera pulls out, like the tiles on the ground, it all leads to Sheila in the middle. And
I
it
don't
kind
think
of.
I realized that. Or maybe I saw it, but then everything was blended.
Yeah, maybe you
into
didn't
it.
notice it right away. But you could tell that they didn't make 2 floors because in the next scene, it's definitely the same like dream pattern, but they have everyone standing to cover it
Oh,
up.
that's funny.
But yeah, Freddy's there. He's peeling an apple. He's teacher Freddy, and he asked the ultimate question: "You want to suck face?"
Wanna suck face?
No.
Because she has bad asthma. And he sucks the hell out of her. She turns into a corpse. It's pretty brutal.
That was absolutely brutal.
Like her
Great
eye
effects.
sockets cave
Yeah.
in and the eyes pop
It
in.
was
Yeah.
really cool effects.
Yeah, it was.
I really liked
Again, they're
that.
having a lot of fun with the effects.
Which is great. Which
But
is
it's
that is
also-
what I
it's
enjoyed.
like-
I enjoyed that.
Yeah. But it's like you're not like thinking up like a scary scenario anymore.
No.
Or something that's like kind of it's just like, wouldn't this be cool? It's like, yeah, it's kind of cool, but
Yeah.
I feel like you're overdoing it a little bit.
But then she wakes up.
Yeah, she wakes up and then the power goes into Alice. She's like, oh, in front of everyone.
Yeah, like what?
And then she's like, he was right here. And everyone's like, what the hell is this lady talking about?
She has her asthma attack, her fatal asthma attack.
Yes.
Which is weird. Like she didn't die right then and there. It was afterwards she had the
Yeah.
asthma.
Again, Freddy, how he's choosing to have real life effects of the dream world and then
Yeah.
covering his tracks. It's weird. He's going back and forth.
Yeah.
Which he kind of did in the previous one, but it's like one or the other, buddy. One or the other. The previous 2 movies, like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
This girl is all over the ceiling and now she's
Yeah,
dead.
there's just blood and
Yeah,
everything.
Johnny
Like,
Depp is inside his
that's the
bed and
thing.
there's blood everywhere.
But like he was able to control her and her body going everywhere. You don't see Sheila's body going up
Yeah.
or anything.
Yeah. I guess because she was in front of too many people. I don't know.
No fucking way.
Because if people saw all that crazy stuff, if there were too many witnesses, they would have called an exorcist or something.
But you don't see it with anyone else.
I don't know. I didn't
No
write.
one else.
Look, I'm not one of the 4 writers on this movie, okay?
None of the writers could have fucking fixed this.
I think a lot of these I think a lot of these dreams were made up by Renny Harlin after the fact. So I don't even think the writers were involved.
Or the directors, really. I think it was everything that happened. I think this entire movie was shot before the directors came on. And
But yeah, Alice is getting Sheila's nerd powers down. She talks with Dan, Hunky Dan. She thinks Freddy can't get to the new kids without Alice pulling them into her dreams. That's what she's come up with. Then there is another classroom scene with Robert Shea in another cameo, the head of New Line Pictures, doing another cameo. He's done a bunch of cameos in these. And he's talking about dreams and the Dream Master. What a coincidence. He's talking about the Dream Master. Rick.
it was interesting when he was saying, though. I thought that was cool, but I thought they mention it later a little bit about the gate. Freddy mentions the gate.
Yeah.
Now he's been guarding his gate for a long time. But then there's nothing else about that.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to see them explore that more.
We don't have time. We got to cut to Rick with a bunch of cheerleaders he's dreaming about.
Oh, yeah.
But then he's dreaming about his dead girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little inappropriate to be dreaming about both those things at the same
And
time,
also,
Rick.
and he's also seeing himself on the toilet as well.
Yeah, let's space those dreams out, buddy. Let's space those dreams out.
Oh, yeah, and his sister's there.
Yes, and then there's sisters there for a second.
Yeah.
He's in his dojo. Apparently, he was supposed to have a different death. I forget what it was supposed to be, and then this was kind of like a replacement. But yeah, he's in his dojo, and he's like trying to fight Freddy.
Yeah.
He's like, "What are you gonna do without your glove?"
Yeah. Well, there he was able to have somewhat of a superpower, I felt like. Then he was able to kind of incorporate dream world powers,
Yeah.
But that's the only time you see that.
Yeah. And speaking of like real world and dream world conflicting, he dies. Alice, I think, gets his soul, and then she screams, and like all the windows in the classroom blow.
Which made no sense. I was like, wait, why did that just happen?
Yeah, it's just, look, you're on movie 4. It's cool if you want to try new things, but you're kind of
consistent.
Yeah, it's
consistent
not
with
as
your new
consistent as it was before. It's like, okay, I need to know, like, what is there a reason now that the real world's being more manipulated? Because in part 2, he was possessing someone, and he was able to use his real powers in the real world. Is something like that happening?
Or just do it a little bit. Like a little out of place is fine. But when you're going that much out of place, you're like, wait, what are the... Like, it's okay if you can't follow the rules completely.
Yeah.
But you're just all over the place. I don't know.
Yeah. Very, very confusing. And then she falls asleep at the funeral, and her brother is like, can't believe they think I'm dead. And that was...
I thought that was kind of cute. I personally thought that's them showing her like that's the movie showing that she's still daydreaming.
Yeah.
And that she still has these wants and she still daydreams of what she actually really wants.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't mind that.
I thought it was at first I thought it was like Freddy pretending to be him.
That's what I thought at first, yeah.
But Freddy does interrupt the funeral in New Nightmare, so I think I was misremembering that. Debbie, then the movie remembers Debbie exists, and they bring her up to speed on Freddy.
She's really into the gym.
And right away, she's just like, kills you in the dreams, got it. She's not like, oh, you're all fucking insane. What are you talking about? But yeah, she's very into the gym.
Really into the gym.
But yeah, Alice is like, I'm going to try my best to take on Freddy. And then she does the whole mind over matter thing. They're like, that's what the nerd said.
That's the only time you really hear her have Sheila's power. Besides
she
pulling out that. But
she has another thing later on. She has a Sheila thing later on. I'll bring it up.
Okay.
So yeah, now Alice can do karate good. She's like, I'm doing karate good now. That's an actual line of dialogue from the movie. And she wants to see her friends, but her dad is stopping her. Yeah. And he kind of lets on that he like knows what's going on. He's probably heard from other parents and whatnot. Yeah. But he's like, no.
He also just lost his son.
Yes. He's also a sad alcoholic, so.
Yeah.
And he's only getting sadder. But Debbie goes to work out. Mm-hmm. And then Alice ends up at a movie theater playing. What was the movie that they were playing?
I don't know the movie they're playing.
The main one on the marquee. What movie were they playing? It could be any movie. It could be a movie that's literally in front of you right now, staring at you.
Was it Reefer Madness?
It was Reefer Madness.
I don't think I realized that.
Yeah, they had a
don't
big
know
thing.
how.
They're like Reefer Madness.
Oh, I think I totally missed that.
I got that at Goodwill recently.
Oh, hey.
I'm excited.
You didn't fill this out yet?
Oh, I didn't fill out my Kino video.
How'd you not fill this out yet?
I don't know.
You let them know that you're interested in foreign films, Hollywood classics, animation, silent cinema,
I will fill that.
documentaries, jazz and blues, and African American.
I will fill that out right now. Right now. Anyway,
Think
they're
the
playing.
email or the address or the www.kino.com still works,
I
or
will
the phone
find-
number or the email address. Yeah. Should we call it? Let's call it.
We'll call it later. We'll call it. Remind me afterwards to call Kino Video.
Okay.
So yeah, they're playing Reefer Madness. But then the movie screen shows the Craven Diner. But it's all like desolate and whatnot. And this is a cool effect of her being sucked into the screen. I thought that was really cool.
Are we before or after her at the diner itself? Not. Are we not? We're
She's
not at
about to be in the
Okay.
diner.
Okay.
The
Oh,
dream
that's right.
diner.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because she gets sucked into the
That's
screen,
right.
into
Yes.
the diner.
Yeah. And at the movie theater, it's all the dead people, all the dead kids.
Yes.
They're all standing up and cheering.
And then she sees who's the person serving her at the diner.
It happens to be herself. Her
Oh,
worst
no!
nightmare, her biggest fear.
Oh no! And then Freddy turns her brother into a meatball. You see, it was kind of clever and creepy.
It was kind of gross, actually.
And then,
to where I was like,
no. The scene started out clever and creepy, and then Freddy shows up. He's like, "I'm gonna eat a meatball, man." It's like,
it
all
was
right.
kind of gross, though. Like, it kind
It
of
was
like, you're
pretty
just like,
gross.
because they're all like, oh, no. You're like, oh.
There's a couple times
It's like
where they play
squishes.
with scale. Well, they'll show something,
Yeah.
and then like it's clearly an enlarged set with an actual size person. They do that a couple times. So yeah, Freddy turns his brother into meatball, eats him, and then somehow he's able to get to Debbie. I guess Debbie fell asleep while lifting.
That's what I was like. Was she just too tired and felt? But you don't normally just fall asleep there on the.
No, I definitely don't. I'm in agony, going ah. Why do I take
That's
such
actually
long?
getting just you getting up from the couch. You stood
Ugh.
up. You do that.
No, I actually that hasn't happened as much lately.
Okay.
No, because that happened last year. That was rough, and then I started working out again last summer, and it's been a little bit better. But then I've been on a workout hiatus for a while, and I just started out again. But this is workout pain. So yeah, if I'm on the bench, I'm like, why did I stop working out? It gets harder every time I start again.
Yeah,
I'm not
falling asleep.
I'm not falling
You're
asleep.
not falling. The bench is really comfy for you to fall asleep on, right?
No. But I guess Debbie fell asleep.
Which makes no sense. And she knows what's happening. She
Yeah.
knows not to fall asleep. She's waiting for them to show up.
Yes.
She still falls asleep.
And then Alice wakes up, and this is or does she? Because this is the beginning of the time loop.
So confused.
This
Yeah.
is really cool. I remember
Did it fuck you up? Did you get confused?
I probably did the first time, but I remember like I hadn't seen this in years.
Yeah.
Up until like a few years ago when I rebought the whole set. Because I spoiler, I didn't really like this the first time I saw it. This was like my least favorite for a while.
Okay.
The remake wasn't out yet. But I remember
That
when I
one's
rewatched
absolutely
it a few years back, I'm like, did my DVD just skip? Like I thought my DVD skipped. I'm like, what? Wait, what happened? What just happened here? While this is happening, this whole nightmare scene, it constantly keeps cutting to Alice and Dan getting into the car to drive again. I like how each time he's like, wait a minute. We've done this before.
The second time he doesn't say it.
The second time he does
That's
it.
why you're just like, and then it happens a third time.
Yeah, and he's
I
like,
swear I get tricked by it almost every time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know this is happening, but every time I'm like, wait,
yeah.
oh yeah, this is the scene.
So Freddy breaks Debbie's arms. And you're like, oh, that's rough. But then because she saw a cockroach.
Because that's her fear.
Yeah. They were like, nope, that's not enough. Now she needs to grow cockroach arms.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little weird.
And then
Little
she
weird.
ends up in a roach motel.
Yep.
One of those big glue traps.
With another one in there.
Yeah, there's another
Oh,
one in
you're
there.
welcome.
That's also stuck like, ah! Yeah, because she falls. It's actually pretty. Again, they were having a
It was
lot of
kinda cool.
fun.
I had fun watching it.
They had a lot of fun with their special effects, but at some point I'm like, this is getting a little ridiculous. So they're dragging it out because they really want to show those effects. And then she like falls on her face.
Yes,
And her pulls her face off. But like at that point, like
her human skin and everything
Yeah,
is now
but-
off, and she's cockroach.
But like at that point, I don't really care about her death because it's just a stupid
It's just
bug.
ridiculous
It's a
at that
stupid
point.
bug puppet. I'm like, I can't relate to this bug puppet.
You can't relate to that. I totally relate.
Like my mind, like I know it's supposed to be her, but it looks so ridiculous. I'm like, I can't buy that that's her.
I was like, is she gonna wake up as a cockroach? Like, how do you wake up from that?
But then Freddy crushes her, and of course he has to do the
You can check in, but you can't check out.
which I think was the Roach Motel motto. Remember that old Saturday Night Live commercial they did? That was like a roach thing.
Maybe.
They did like a roach, like a similar to Roach Motel, but it was even more ridiculous. It's like the roach gets stuck in there, and then little robot arms pulls their arms off and slaps them. It was like the most ridiculous
I don't know if
torture
I've seen
thing.
that now.
It was from the 90s. It was
That's
like
when it
it
was
was like a
really good.
commercial for like a roach killer, but it was the most horrific torturing roach killer ever.
I missed the 90s SNL.
I'm pretty sure it was SNL. Maybe it was Matt TV. I don't know. Maybe it was in Living Color. I don't know.
One of the shows.
So yeah, they finally realize they're in the time loop, and then they crash. That crash is pretty good.
Yeah, I
Where-
got confused though
Why?
because Freddy calls it crash, but they actually crashed into a tree. So then I'm like, is this not part of a dream? Were they dreaming?
I
Were they
think
driving and dreaming?
because you know how
She
Freddy can
calls-
control people's movements. I think he was controlling them driving.
But were they already in a dream? Because they were.
That
in
is
the
a
time
little
loop.
confusing.
That's where I was confused at.
That is
Where
a
I was
little-
like, okay, like as you're watching, you're like, oh, she woke up,
I
and it
wish-
was actually the crash. But now you're like,
It's not
Oh,
very
wait.
clear. I was hoping they would be like, because she is a daydreamer.
he would go into her daydreams.
If
but he
was she
never
able
did
to
it.
like go through her daydreams? That's why it was so much harder for her. 'Cause she's constantly daydreaming. She doesn't know. But yeah, they
You
don't
would
make
think
it.
So, but
I
no.
think that's what we're meant to believe, but it's not clear. It's not really spelled out.
He never goes into her daydreams.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is because she is a daydreamer, that's what giving him this extra power to like fuck with reality. But they never say that. It's very, very odd.
No.
Space Cat has changed positions again.
Baby.
Hi, Space Cat. Hi, Space Cat.
She's like, fuck you.
You could sit here next time, away from the mean lady.
Aw. Usually cats love me.
But yeah,
Cats love me.
I like when they crash the car because then the motorcycle in the back seat like does a flip. That was a really good crash. But Dan gets sent to the ER.
And this entire time, it took me a while to realize it's not part of a dream.
Yeah,
Because also, it's green inside.
yeah.
Inside the ambulance is green, and a lot of the dreams, it's like a funky color.
That's just a cool. They liked the way it looked.
But it looked like a
They
dream world.
they watch John Carpenter movies because it's always green inside his cars. So they're like, that's what we're doing. But yeah, she's like, all right, I'm gonna go get Freddy. I'm going to be the Dream Master. And she wears mementos from all her friends.
Yep.
She's a super punk chick who knows karate and science.
So what's her face's power?
Debbie
Yeah.
being strong because she worked out. That's
Well, she
separate.
wasn't really strong.
Shut
was
up.
really
Shut up. She was strong and stunning and brave.
Oh.
Yes.
And scared of bugs.
and scared of
Super
bugs.
brave and scared of
Scared
bugs.
of bugs. So I like that she's going to save Dan, and Dan is like being attacked by Freddy. But then like this part's pretty cool because like Freddy goes to kill him, but then like the doctors are able to like resuscitate him and pull
Yeah.
him out of the dream world just in
Because he's
time.
hemorrhaging, yeah.
Yes. And they're like, we got you out, buddy. He's like, put me back. Ah!
So where do those kids come from, and why the little girl? Why the little Alice? They never explained that.
Yeah, I thought there was gonna be a thing where like, is Alice like one of his victims?
I
or
was like,
something?
was she when she was younger? Is that her younger self? Because even on the beach, she's like, oh, I have a friend named Alice, and like she giggles.
Yeah.
I'm like, are they connect? Nothing.
Yeah.
How does this girl keep reappearing? And little angel choir.
Yeah, they should have explained it a little bit more. Like, did he have a previous kid that was killed by Freddy? It's not really clearly...
Were those all the kids that he killed?
Yeah, oh no, I
originally?
think we're always meant to believe that those little ghost kids are kids that he killed.
Including the little Alice?
That's where it gets confusing. The Alice part makes it confusing. So they're singing, and then Freddy shows up, and
But, okay.
it's like a wrestling match. Like, they're gonna fight one-on-one, mano-y-mano, and it's like, Freddy, why? Because, like, she kind of kicks his ass. I do like when he's like, come on, and he's bring it on. But it's like, why are you even bothering to fist fight her? Turn into a snake, turn into a bomb, and blow her up. Like, what are you doing?
But, like, she's hitting him and hitting him, and it's not doing anything. All of a sudden, she's just one kick, and it does a blow. You're like, wait,
Yeah.
now it works? But I want to say, the song that they're singing, it's a fucking prayer.
Yeah. The lady...
How are they able to, like, it messed me up the entire time. Every time I heard that, I was like, because I grew up with that prayer.
Yeah, they modify the lay me down, the my soul to take
Yeah.
prayer.
And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, no, that's not right.
But I do like that she uses a bunch of her friends' personality traits. She does the karate one up, but she also grabs like a thing in the wall and makes like some kind of device to shoot electricity at him,
yeah.
which is what she got from Sheila because she was so good at.
Well,
all the
that's what
tech
I
stuff.
meant with
Oh.
that. I knew, but that was the only other time you see Sheila.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
That was
I
the
don't
only
know.
time.
I don't know. She's racist. I don't know. Alice forgot to say that. She's like, I didn't like Sheila.
Sheila.
But yeah, she's doing this whole fight with Freddy, and Freddy, I'm just
hate
like,
it.
Freddy, why don't you just like disappear, or turn into bugs?
I'm eternal. Like,
I am eternal. It's like, yeah, well, you're kind of losing this fight. Why don't you grow some spikes? Freddy, why don't you hang out with Beetlejuice and learn some lessons?
yeah, right?
You seem to have learned the snake lesson. Are you excited for Beetlejuice 2? It's actually-
I'm not sure. if
It's
I am or
actually
not.
happening this time.
I know it is. I'm 50-50 on it. I am 50-50 on it.
You know, this is
it
the
could
one-
be cool. It could be cool.
This is the one role where I wouldn't mind Michael Keaton coming back to return because he is a ghost man.
I'm glad it is him.
That's fine. And then they went, Monica Bellucci's in the movie. And I was like, cool. And they're like, as Beetlejuice's wife. And I went, nope,
He's got to have a hot wife.
nope,
Beetlejuice has a hot wife.
Nope.
There's no way Beetlejuice doesn't have a hot wife.
nope, nope. I don't need Lady Beetlejuice. I don't need Lady Beetlejuice. What I do like, though, is that Jenna Ortega is in it, but she's Lydia's daughter, which
It makes sense.
It was weird to do the Wednesday thing and bring Christina Ricci back as not Wednesday. I thought that was going to be like Wednesday's daughter. But anyway, I've been shitting on a lot of these really late sequels because most of them suck. I'll wait to see a trailer. I'll wait to see a trailer before I'm negative. I'll wait to see a trailer.
I think you were just negative.
You know, I
didn't
don't
wait.
think Lydia's dad will be coming back for the new movie.
Damn.
Nor do I think Alec Baldwin will be coming back for the new movie. Anyway, she's beating him up, and then the girls are singing the song, and then she somehow pieces together, like, I need to show evil their reflection. And it's like, well, Freddy's been around mirrors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do mirrors now hurt him? Why does this specific mirror hurt him?
I don't know if it's like a dream power mirror, but like
Yeah.
it's because of her intentions.
Yeah.
But that means any intention that you have then would be able to kill him.
Yeah, it's very confusing. But what is cool is like the shot going into him with the well of souls, like everyone like
That was cool. That was cool. That makes
and then
sense.
it's
Yeah,
really
that was
awesome
really
when
cool.
like the visualization of the souls escaping him. It's like hands coming out and
loved that.
you see like people inside of him like trying to claw out.
that was cool.
So that was awesome. And then all the souls pop out like little spirits and they fly into space or some
Thank
shit.
you, Alex. We're free. You're like, what? Okay.
So, I mean, it's a cool death for Freddy. I just didn't understand. Why does the mirror? I don't understand.
They were just trying to get to the point
We've
real
seen
quick.
we've seen Freddy literally in mirrors. We forgot. Speaking of mirror, we forgot after he killed Kristen, he leaves a little picture of him and Kristen,
Yeah.
and it lights on fire.
Greetings from hell.
Yeah, I was like, that's pretty mean, Freddy. So yeah, Freddy's dead. Not Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare. Freddy's Dead is in
gotcha.
this film right now. And then Alice and Dan celebrate. She goes to make a wish, and we see Freddy for a second.
Yep.
We see him for
In
a
the
second. It's
water,
like,
yep.
okay.
Is he dead?
Yeah.
Is he turtle? Remember, you can't kill him.
Couldn't he just dig up his bones and bury them again?
He doesn't. All of it disintegrated. There is no more bones.
In the third one, they buried his bones.
Yeah, there's no bones this time.
No, but in the real world, I think his bones are still buried in that lot. Because him being resurrected was in the dream world.
That's right.
They should go back to that lot.
So then he should easily be resurrected in the dream world again.
Yeah.
So what?
And
keeps him from being-
also, what the hell? Here's two people who didn't return. She returns in the next one, but Amanda Kruger, his ghost nun mom, where the fuck is she?
Yeah.
Where was she during this? Oh, by the way, she only showed up. I guess, is she only at Weston Hills? Is she only allowed to be in the fucking cemetery? Well, no, bullshit. Because, she got to be at the cemetery and the hospital.
Yeah.
This woman only ever helped out once.
She can only do so much, okay?
She's like, I am
That
only
poor
allowed to
woman.
suggest the Catholic way of hurting him.
They fucked up the prayer. That's why she can't be there.
Yeah. By the way, the guy who physically killed Freddy in the last one, Neil, a fucking loser. We didn't like Neil. We didn't like Neil in
don't
Nightmare
like Neil?
3. I didn't like Neil. The fucking doctor is trying to date Nancy. Casey was like anti. She's like, he doesn't have a chance with her, and he should stop
He
trying.
annoyed me.
Yes.
A lot. I wasn't the biggest fan of him.
Oh, his
either.
like suicide thing when all their friends are trying to cope with the suicide.
Yeah.
He's like, what an asshole that guy was. Like, buddy, let's bring it in a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, Neil didn't show up for any help.
No, he didn't.
And Freddy's mom really slept on this one.
Yeah, they were like, you're on your own this time.
Yeah.
We tried teaching everyone. They all fucked up.
Well, anyway, she makes a wish. And I do like Dan being like, what did you wish for? She's like, if I tell you, it doesn't come true. Because she's probably like, oh my God, I never want Freddy Krueger to come back to life or be in one of my fetuses. Spoiler for the next one. Yeah,
That's
so...
I mean, that's a very specific wish, but I think most women think, I'm gonna make a wish and hope someone doesn't become my fetus.
Yeah. So Nightmare 4. How does this one land for you?
It's fun to watch. Do not think much into it. If
Yeah.
I can just turn my brain off and it's a movie to put on, I enjoy it, but it's definitely not my favorite. It's a fun ride.
Yeah, the effects are cool. The visuals are cool and wacky. But it's just missing something that those first three had.
Like an actual cohesive.
Yeah, like a coherent plot.
Cohesive?
Yeah, you said cohesive. I mean, I
Is
guess.
that a word?
Yeah, that
Cohesive,
is a
right?
word. It's
Coherent,
similar, I
cohesive.
think. I
Are
think you
those-
meant coherent, but cohesive is a word, and I think it's very similar. So you're good. You're good. I'll allow cohesive. But yeah, I don't know. It's just something about this doesn't do it for me. I do like the Alice character. And I think I might have mentioned her briefly in the underrated Final Girls, because then she comes back in the next one.
I wouldn't say she's an underrated final girl.
That's why she was just a honorable mention. I didn't
wouldn't
actually
for
put her on the
honorable.
list.
I wouldn't put her for honorable.
But no, I
she-
did enjoy her. I enjoyed her and her brother. But you're right, Debbie and Sheila aren't big enough characters. They seem like they could have been really likable characters. Bringing back Kincaid and Joey, and I know I'm a hypocrite because I love Alien 3. Just to kill them was a bit of a letdown.
There's so much more they could have added to that.
And I would have been
teased a
fine.
lot,
I would have been fine with just killing Kristen because it wasn't the same actress, so you're not going to have that connection anyway.
But she's the last person.
Yeah.
So
I
you
don't know.
just
I would have written it very differently.
At least have one of them. That way you can still keep killing them without
Yeah.
making that horrible, let's pass this power over to Alice, which makes no sense to do.
I think with this and the next one, the balance of comedy and whatnot is kind of off. And I'll go more into that in the next one.
Yeah.
Because it is still trying to be scary and horrifying. Not a lot. But
Yeah.
it wants you to think that this is a horrifying scenario, but it's kind of like that lady is a bug. Like, I'm sorry, that lady is a...
like, okay, here's horror and here's comedy,
Yeah.
and then it slowly is now, and like I think we're here now where it's a little bit more comedy than
Yeah.
it is horror, and then it
Yeah. And then really like making Freddy more of a character. It's like, nah, I get it. It works because Robert Englund is like so good. But you kind of like miss how he was in the first three. Or he's there. He can still be witty and stuff, but
he is never what they did in the remake. Are you ever going to review that? The remake?
Yeah, after Freddy vs. Jason.
Okay.
We'll probably do that.
It was probably the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like really, really bad.
Yeah. And I know I'm the asshole who loves Freddy's Dead, but I think Freddy's Dead actually did a good job with the comedy. It balanced it really well. It embraced it more.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one of the lower ones for me. When I do part 5, I will see which one I think is the out of like the original movies. 4 and 5 are like my least favorite, but I need to rewatch 5 to see which one I like the least.
I feel like it just kind of. I know a lot of people say 3 is their favorite.
That's the episode was called Dream Warriors is a fan favorite. Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, that's not my favorite, but I can see why it would be.
I think I actually go in order. When I first saw 3, I didn't like it. I thought it was too corny for me, but the more I watch it, the more I like it. It's one of those.
Then again, I'm an asshole who loves 2 and Freddy's Dead, so.
Well, you are an asshole. That is true.
It's okay to like 2 now because of the Scream Queen documentary. It's apparently okay to like 2, but apparently we're not on board for liking Freddy's Dead. I don't know why. I guess people just hate female directors. Is that what it is?
Oh my god. Bite him, Sassy. Bite him.
You know, some people think I'm problematic. I'm like, but my favorite Freddy movies are the gay one and the one directed by a woman. What the hell? What's wrong with me? Anyway, let's talk about music.
Okay.
I have the soundtrack here.
Okay.
Well, not like the soundtrack they sold. Apparently, like a lot of these songs weren't on the physical soundtrack. But yeah, number 1, Tuesday Night's Nightmare. It was played at the opening credits. Number 2, Dramarama, Anything I'll Give You, played during Rick and later Alice's martial arts training montages. Now this is a big one because this one has a music video. The Fat Boys, Are You Ready for Freddy?
Yeah.
It's time for Freddy.
We should do a bonus video where we just watch Nightmare on Elm Street music videos.
I'm down for that.
Because there's the Dokken ones, there's this, and then there's Will Smith's Nightmare on My Street.
Listen to that every Halloween. That is my absolute favorite.
Nightmare on My Street. Billy Idol, Fatal Charm. This played during Joey's final nightmare. Joe Lamont's Pride and Joy played on the jukebox while Debbie serves Dan. Nick Gilder and Time Machine, Big House. Doesn't tell you where it played that one. Sinead O'Connor, apparently Sinead O'Connor. This one was expensive because this was like when she was getting like huge. Okay. I Want Your Hands on Me, played during Debbie's death and end credits. Sinead O'Connor, if you don't remember, did the Nothing Compares to, and then she ripped up a picture of the Pope on Saturday Night Live, and Joe Pesci was mad about it a week later. Blondie, In the Flesh. This is played on the jukebox when Dan comes to the diner to talk to Alice about Freddy. And then Girl Talk, Bela Bela, played during Debbie's arrival at school. What a rocking soundtrack.
Debbie.
Huh?
A lot for Debbie.
A lot for Debbie. Who's
Debbie.
in and out of the Debbie only exists to have accompanying music.
I'm okay with that.
So that was Nightmare on Elm Street for the Dream Master. Freddy is fun in it, even if he's a little too wacky.
He's fine and fun. Fun and fine.
You know, if Crystal, would you say that he's the most popular cinematic maniac since Darth Vader? Because that's what apparently someone from Newsweek said on the back of this VHS.
I don't know about that one, but
I don't really see Darth Vader as a maniac.
no, I don't either.
He was a bad guy.
He wasn't a maniac at all.
I mean, he participated in a genocide, but several genocides. But
I mean, who hasn't?
he wasn't like, I'm crazy. Like, he seemed like pretty in control of his
They're
actions.
different crazies. There's a lot of different crazies out there. They're
But hey, look, it gave us Renny Harlin, which gave us Die Hard 2 and Cliffhanger and Deep Blue Sea and almost Alien 3. He was almost the director of Alien 3.
God, this
I love that he turned down Alien 3.
Yeah, that says a lot. That's
Well,
like,
did he turn it down or did it just didn't work out?
I don't
He
know.
wasn't able to get Alien 3 to work, but he got Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and Die Hard 2 to work.
Woo!
And like I said, he did Cliffhanger, which is like Die Hard on a mountain. So yeah, at least we have Renny Harlin now.
Oh, look who's awake now.
Hi, Space Cat. Hello.
Are we friends yet?
That's her
Okay.
normal meow when you
Yeah.
touch her. It's like, "Nyeh."
Ready? Hey.
Oh God. You can pet her head. Pet her head. There you go.
We're friends now.
We're friends now.
Thank you.
Okay, that is it from us. We will be at Too Many Games coming up.
Yeah, we are.
We have a panel Saturday night,
VHS
and then we will be at VHS Fest.
Yes, that one I'm excited for.
VHS Fest, July 7th and 8th,
Hold please.
or 6th and 7th.
Hold please.
It is that weekend. And new announcement,
7th and 8th, yes.
I believe September 16th and 17th, right before my birthday, we will be at PA Horror Con
Woo woo!
in Langhorne, which is going to be a lot of fun. And Crystal, I haven't physically done it as of this recording, but soon there will be new Hack the Movie shirts.
What?
I'm buying new red and white shirts to put in. It'll probably be in the Retroware store.
Okay.
And we have a return of the Tony Peak shirt.
Fuck.
I was able to get the Tony Peak shirt. It's not going to be as big as it was before because, guys, I'm paying for this out of pocket and shirts are expensive. But you will be able to buy a shirt with my face on it again.
Jesus Christ.
Isn't that amazing? And
you went
please,
with that, not the twerking one?
that one's still on Teespring.
Oh.
That one apparently is still out on Teespring. So we
'Cause it does
do
so well.
still have a Teespring store. Buy stuff while it's still there, because who knows when they'll take the designs down and not give you a reason why. Still really pissed off about that.
Oh.
It's just, if I got a reason why,
Yeah.
I would have been
They're just
okay.
Like, no.
And
They're
they're
just
like, no, the design's down. I'm like, reactivate? No.
No.
Re-upload? No.
No.
Anyway, so new merch on the way. I'm also
Woo-woo.
gonna try and do some sticker packs. My good friend
Sweet.
Lorenzo Areola sent me a bunch of his stickers, and I'm like, those are great. And they gave me a website to do it.
Yay.
So look forward to that. They'll probably be in the Retroware store. I'll probably put a shop on the Hack the Movies website so you can link to it.
That would make sense.
Yeah, that would. It might even already exist. I don't know. I gotta double check. So yes, that is all on the way. And always, as always, become a patron.
Yeah.
Or you be a YouTube channel member. Test it out. And if you like
That's
it,
the thing.
if you like it, become a patron. There's even more stuff. I've been streaming more regularly on Twitch.
Whoa, look at you.
Yeah. Good job, Space Cat, waking up at the end of the review.
She's a natural.
Way to be boring the whole video and then suddenly come to life at the end.
She's so beautiful.
Hi. How you
Good
doing?
morning. Hi, baby.
She's like, I don't want to be on this counter anymore. Yeah, so merch on the way. We'll be at those events. Become a patron or channel member. Follow me on Twitch. And I love you. Am I the man of your dreams? Let me know in the comments below.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.
Talking about tapes.